we live, we live. What it do, y'all? It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY. Back with another one of our ROD pod. For those that don't know who I am him, Junes, and NBIC. And of course, you know, I represent that ROD. Want to give a shout out to the YouTube family. Want to give a shout out and praise and honor to our ancestors, to the creators, to the El Kebulan deities that hover over us, that's waiting for us to tap in to give us what's owed to us, and that is our land. Round of applause for that. Yeah, man. We live, we live, we live. I hope you guys had a phenomenal day. My day was long. It was crazy, but you know, we outside with it, you heard? And you know, we're gonna have a good conversation today. And I want every single black religious believer, doesn't matter what sect you're a part of, whether it's Christianity, Hebrew, Judaism, Bantuism, it doesn't matter. I want to ask you guys a question. Can you prove that we are the children of God without religious texts? Are you able, and I'm speaking mainly and solely to my Alkebulan people, are you able to prove and show that you are the child of God without a religious text? Why do I say that? Because as I sit back and I try to meditate and process everything, you know, I try to digest everything. I see how great we are in arts. I see how great we are in inventions. I see how great we are in sports. I see how great we are in lectures and literature. I see how great we are in mass majority of things that's, you know, contribute to the world. But when I sit back and I process it all, I says, how can individuals be so great at such things, but then be weak when it pertaining to other people that does not look like them? How can we, and this is just me internalizing everything, just processing everything. How can we, me and you, how can we as individuals say that we are the children of God when everything that was created by us supposedly has been stripped right from under us? And it has yet to be not even one triumph. And if you don't, and if you was an individual who never read the Biblios, you would not be able to answer this question. So, if we are the children of God, how can we prove it without religious texts? You don't even see yourself as a child of God. You don't even call you all your children children. You call everybody call themselves kids. To grow up to be a bigger kid. Think about this. We don't even consider ourselves as children anymore. We call our children kids. And what is a kid? A kid is a baby sheep, which also is, or according to Babylonian scriptures, literature, and even your Biblos, a kid was meant to be sacrificed. And if a child is meant to be sacrificed, oh, excuse me, if a kid is meant to be sacrificed, then why are you calling your children kids? Could it possibly be because you in your heart know that you're not a child of God? That you are just a kid? Ooh, a kid? Why would he say a kid? Because a kid is meant to be sacrificed. You sacrifice your children, you sacrifice yourself, you sacrifice your beliefs, you sacrifice everything. There's not a thing that a black man touch on the face of this earth that he didn't have to sacrifice for. There's not a thing on this earth that a black man did not have to sacrifice for. So I gotta ask that question. And if you disagree, then provide me, show me something outside of biblical text that can prove that we're really God's children. Because why would God allow us to go through what we went through according to your Biblos? Why would God allow us to go to what we go through? Put us in these circumstances because of our disobedience, and then expect us to find ourselves in this disobedience to reign heir with Him for all eternity. Putting us in these circumstances knowing that according to history, it has been proven, and even your God can attest to this, that we fall short over and over and over again. But now you put us in a land that the first rules in the Constitution was freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of this. This by default. This is what this Western world that you supposedly allow us to come to stood on. And you should know this because you are the seers of all things, the future, the past, and the between. And now you expecting us to come out of this shithole that you put us in. And you want us to come out with open arms and say, for I redeem you now. And if I'm mad at you for what you did to me, I'm considered a heathen. I'm considered evil, possessed. And because of that, I will no longer have entry into your kingdom of house. So I'm going to ask again, people. How can we prove that we are the child of God when I'm biblical text? And there was no religious text written at all. How would you be able to identify or show proof that you are the child of God? Because everything that I'm seeing when it's pertaining to God, from the story I was told by God, of God, and what God meant, and what strength He possessed. And I look at black people, and it seems like we're the total opposite. It seems like God is always giving us the short end of the stick. It seems like the people that's calling on the same God that you're calling on is receiving all the prayers, all the answers, all the money, all the diamonds, all the gold, all the minerals, all the land. And we're doing the same exact thing. And we out here eating mices and rats and bananas that's spoiled. These are the things that we're eating and we're going through. Thousands of people are being killed in the Congo right now. thousands. And according to the Biblos, and according to the teachings that you guys are saying, that's part of the Holy Land. That's the holy people. That's the chosen people. Why are they being in those situations? If we are God's chosen children, excuse me, we are God's children, how can you prove it? Because society shows me otherwise. History shows me otherwise. There's not a single person on the face of this earth as of right now, as of 2025, has absolutely any fear for a black man unless you are a well-known celebrity fighter like John Jones and Deontay Wilder and Mike Tyson, Mayweather. Like, you have to be in that level for people to have some level of respect and fear for you. Because they don't. Not only do they don't, they wish you would call on your God and bust a prayer. So again, I'm gonna ask the question. I'm going to ask the question. How can we prove that we are the children of God without, listen carefully, people, without biblical, religious texts, however you want to call it? How can you prove that? Because society, again, shows me otherwise. History, again, shows me otherwise. As God's children, how can we lose the entire land to outsiders? How come we didn't have the strength and the power to crush the enemy where they stand? How come we had to flee? How come we had to run? How come we have to always be the ones to get the short end of the stick? How come? Why isn't there anybody questioning what's being delivered to us? Because what's being given unto us, people, is a mockery. It's literally a self-destructive doctrine, mind control. You know what I said today when I was coming home and I was driving? I said, you know how easy it is to get somebody to believe what you're teaching when it's pertaining to the Bible? It's because we have been indoctrinated since birth. Just imagine growing up as a child, whether you in America, El Kebulan, whether you in New York or somewhere in the South. Just imagine growing up. Listen carefully when I say this. Just imagine growing up, and all you seen and heard was Jesus, 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 gospel, Jesus, church on Sunday, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And one day, as you get older and you start questioning certain things, because it's going to happen, everybody will experience that. And as you get older, you start questioning certain things. You start saying things, well, then this does not make sense. Why am I on my knees praying to something or someone that does not look like me? And then you run into brothers that be in the streets, and they say something that instantly resonates with you because you grew up a Christian. When you ask any one of these Hebrew Israelites, they'll tell you the same thing. I come from a Christian background, or I come from a Muslim background. It's nothing new. It's the same manuscript. It's just hearing something that triggered, and 9 out of 10 times, what triggered was the word slave ship. The trigger was slave ships. And for the brother, yeah, for the brother, for the brother that said that for the brother that was questioning the names and the reference that I give when it's pertaining to the creators, or according to him, the father, Sunini, Nanini. Now, I don't have too much to say when it's pertaining to, you know, that space anymore. We're beyond that. We're beyond that. And I just wanted to just give you a piece of my time just to let you know that, you know, I got eyes on, ears on everywhere. And if you say something, and if I feel like this is something that needs to be spoken of, I'm gonna speak on it. But I have a question. Now, the question that I have is, according to your writings, according to your studies, and according to your belief, I'm speaking directly to these, you know, these so-called, what you call them, scholarly dudes. Now, answer this question for me. South Africa is our land, right? The priesthood, which is the Levites, is in our land, right? In South Africa, right? But and then a lot of you guys, you know, like to say that the modern day Levites are your Haitians. Cool. But the problem that I have with that is, how is the Levites the Haitians, which was taken from West Africa, and nobody there knew about the commandments? Nobody there knew about the commandments. So, how did the Levites, the priesthood, if anybody's going to forget the commandments, I promise you it will not be the Levites. When you read the doctrine according to the Bible, when you read it, it was mandatory for the firstborn to receive the word of the Lord, no matter what it is, no matter where we at, no matter the captivity, no matter. It was mandatory. And you read about that in the book of Malachi and all them other books. It was mandatory, which is a tradition I know without a shadow of a doubt we would never forget. And if Levi's, the priesthood, the children of Aaron, Moses, how come in West Africa there's no understanding of the commandments. But if those are the Haitians and the Levites in West Africa, we talking about Benin. Hold on a minute. Yo, bro, I'm gonna call you right back. I'm doing this live. I'm gonna call you right back. All right. All right. Right? Now, if the Levites was taken from South Africa, mainly Cameroon and Benin, which is documented, by the way, documented. And if we was taken from west of Africa and went into Haiti, how come nobody has any recollection of the commandments? How come nobody did not infuse Hebrew traditions into the voodoo which they used to convert into Christianity so the slave master would not get any ideas? Why wasn't there any Hebrew in the mix? You see, when I asked the question, can we prove that we are the children of God without biblical text? None of us is able to. Because if we was the children of God, we would not we would not feel comfortable killing our people. We would not feel comfortable listening to such filthy music. We would not get turned on and be aroused by women that's showing themselves for women that been around the world, and I'm talking about being around the world, yeah, yeah, yeah. If we really and not just that, forget that, forget that. If we really was the children of God, if we really was, something would have triggered in our women and said, "This is not the way to be." Something would have triggered and said, "No, we good with public assistance. I honor my king. I want to be with him to the day that I die." If these things does not occur, not once, how can we prove that we are the children of God without biblical text? If I gave you the Bible today, black man and black woman, and I removed the entire book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, would you be able to see yourself within that story? If I remove Deuteronomy chapter 28 from your book right now, would you be able to see yourself? Would you be able to still see yourself in that story? Or would you disregard the entire old and make your way into the New Testament and walk with Christ? And then since we walking with Christ, right? Let's ask the question. If Christ was here right now, if Christ came down today, right now as we speak, would he be happy for what he's seeing? And I'm speaking mainly for the Christians, for those that say he follows Christ. Would he be happy? And the next question I have after that, according to your book of Revelations, he's only coming for a church. How do you know he's going to be in your church? Huh? See, these are the questions that you got to ask. And I want the answers. Can we prove that we are the children of God? Can we? Can we go out? Can we go outside today, right now? Or when you wake up in whatever time zone or stamp you're at, when you get up, are you able to go outside and be completely godly. And when I mean godly, I'm talking about, and we just gonna do the minute things. We're not gonna do no miracle nonsense like bringing somebody from the dead. No, that's not what I'm asking for you to do. We're talking about godly things. Like you see a homeless man outside, you buy him some food. You maybe buy him some shoes. Huh? We're talking godly. Godly is respecting your elders and helping her cross the street, helping her with your groceries, helping her do what she do, putting her first before your job, before your wife, before your children, before, because that's what God was supposed to do. God killed his son for us, right? Are you willing to do the same? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's not run from the conversation now. Let's not run and say, "Oh, no." Let's talk about it. Prove it. Prove it. Because I'm still waiting for the black man to show me anything godly. Anything that's so proof that he is a child of God, that we are the child of God. I'm still waiting for somebody to show me that. Because if I threw away the biblical text, what would you show to prove to me? I don't want to see no art, no archaeological paintings and pictures. I don't want to see that, man. And who's to say what you're bringing forth is valid as well, because it's still coming from the niggas that changed your last name, the one that got his hands on your head, huh? How can you prove it? How can you prove it? We don't protect each other. We don't protect our women. We don't protect our children. I have yet to see something godly being done by black men, black women, black children. You get little glimpse from black children until they get compromised. You get a little glimpse of it from the black children until they get compromised. So again, I'm still waiting. Show me. Because if I had never seen the big blues, I wouldn't even know what to believe. None of us know what to believe, actually. And this is why we need the facts. And this is why we need the facts. We're not trying to listen to this GED story no more. We're not trying to listen to that ABC 1 2 3 story no more. We don't want that feel good. We don't want that sit still. We want the answers. And we're going to start off with the bottom feeders. Because if they bringing them to us, we got to break through them to get to you. And we're going to slice and dice one church, one teachings, one doctrine at a time. Because one thing for certain and two things for sure, no matter all of this studying and reading and understanding and praising and worshiping, remember one thing. You're still disconnected from you. Still disconnected from you, from your creators, from your ancestors, from everything and everything El Kebulan. This is what you guys are not paying attention to. You become what you study. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. You become what you study. And if you're studying your enemy, you will end up being your enemy. And that same energy will be passed on to the very people that energy was meant to be on. Okay? And because we're studying these people, every book, every graduation, every job acceptance removes you further and further and further away from who you are. And if I'm lying, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Why you know more about Greek and what Alexander the Greek did and what the Europeans did to the Bible and all the conversions and the changings. Why you know all of that. What is the national color for Libya, South Africa? What is the national color for Benin? What is it? If I was to put out, matter of fact, how many states or countries are in South Africa? Don't Google it. If you have to Google it, that proves my point. But if I ask you how many states are in the United States, you will tell me. If I ask you about Christopher Columbus and who he was, you will be able to tell me. If I ask about the Revolutionary War or World War One or World War Two, you may not know as much of a historian, but you'll know enough. And I bet you it's gonna be 10 times more than you know about Al-Kebulan. Even the word Al-Kebulan. How many of you are learning about your land? Absolutely none. So now the people that are following the entire world are now the children of God. I can't see us as the children of God as long as we killing each other, selling drugs to each other, lying, stealing, hurting, destroying each other, promoting death sentence all through the airways, all through the air. That's all you feel in the hood. It's just death. And you telling me that we're God's children? I'm gonna need somebody to prove that to me. I'm gonna need somebody to prove that to me. And best believe I am open ears. Prove it. And with that being said, people, it's your brother man from the motherland. Came to you guys live. Once again, continue supporting, like, comment, share, subscribe. I know the internet just be jacking my joint, but it's cool. It's alright. I'm about to call it a night. I am tired and I got a early commute tomorrow. So Continue support. You know what time it is, man. And again, share this and ask the question to everybody. Anybody. Can black people prove and show they are the children of God? Because I'm yet to see it. Even as I read history, I can't see it. We are begging, we're crying, our land is being overtaken, we're being colonized. We're it's like, damn, like, yo, where do we win? And to be honest, and I don't want to sidetrack because I know I said I was leaving, but I got to get this off my chest. It's like we fought, right? We won the war. They come back. We fight. We win the war. They come back. And they come back, they come back, they come back, they come back. And I'm saying to myself, it's like, damn, so what? We're not reproducing children? We're not training them to be in the front line? We're not training them to be warriors? Like, what are we doing? Like, what? We supposedly won victory, and it was like, all right, guys, to put our feet up. You know, they're never coming back. I really gotta ask that question. I'm watching the movie like Jingo, and I'm just watching how it's a whole bunch of Europeans. I mean, a whole bunch of black people and a handful of Europeans, and yet the black and yet the black folks, they, and you know, and I believe, and this is just me. I believe this is me. This is me. I don't want you guys to say Junes is wilding. This is me. I believe that we got into this mental state of mind when the beat blows came. Nah, I can't. Because I'm still trying to process a bunch of people coming into your space telling you you got to give it up, and we just gave it up, and we fought, and it's like, yo, we was the only ones dying. It's like was there any victory for the black man? I hear about Hannibal. There's an argument about that. That man was white. Oh, he was black. And I'm not here, and I'm not here for that. Like, me personally, I could care less. All I want to know is, if we are God's children, how can we prove that when I'm biblical text? And I want one of you guys to prove that. Anybody, I beg you, show me. Let's have a dialogue. How can we prove that we are God's children when I'm biblical text? Because everything shows that God does not like us. Everything shows that God is not with us. And I'm speaking to the God that was given unto us by the oppressor. It's clearly shown that this God is not with us. It's clearly shown that this book is not for us. It's not for us. It's not about us. Never was, never will be. You can force yourself to believe it. You can force yourself to see these images. You can force whatever you want. But the reality is that has absolutely nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with you back then. Has nothing to do with you now. The only reason why it's in your hands is because they need to settle down the cow or the sheep or the kid. Which one? When you was a kid, you thought of a kid. When I became a man, I put away childish things. No. When you was a kid, you thought of a kid. And when you became a man, you was turned into a sheep. Because that's what a kid turns into, a sheep. Now wait for your shepherd to set you free. Even though the shepherd is the wolf that the Biblos has been talking about. But anyway, that's my time, guys. Now I'm for real now. I'm for real. I'm for real. That's my time. I'm tired. All right? But again, continue supporting, like, comment, share, subscribe, man. If it's your first time, I hope it's not your last time. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, that means I'm still in your mind. That means we still on that grind. That means it's about that time. Time for what? Time for you guys to go get yours, because I am on that journey to go get mine. Are you dumb or are you dumb? And I'ma holler at y'all.